Hello, crafty friends. Welcome to Stamp and Create with Beth. I'm Beth Roy, an Independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today is Sunday, December 21st, 2025. Just going to pull up my video. If you pop in this evening, say good night. Or good night. Say hello. I guess it is good night, isn't it? But we're not going to bed. We're going to do some scrapbooking. Hey, Joan. Welcome. So, adjust just a little bit here. Thank you for the love. Let's see if I got myself straight here. Sorry. Trying to get more of my desk in. But it's not easy. Oh well, we're gonna leave it there. Okay, so hello. Dinner time. Yeah, a little bit earlier for you, Joan. It's 7:30 here in Ohio. Not really, like I said, not bedtime, but it is evening. I said good, I guess good evening is what I should have said. I do want to share some pages I have been working on. And I don't know, they're not done, but I want to show them to you. And then I'm going to tell you about this kit, and I'm going to make this page that's down here. I don't know if you can, I think you can see it okay. So our Scrapbooking Workshop Kits come with paper, stickers, die cuts, photo placemats. And unless you have your photos, then you don't need the mats. They're just to stand in for your photos, or you can use them as a mat as well. But it makes 3 2-page spreads, so 6 pages total. And you can see here, like these 2 pages, you could use them as 2 standalone pages. Or you can, have all your pictures that are related. I'm actually going to revamp this one. It just doesn't appeal to me as much. I have all boys, and most of the things I am scrapbooking or stories I am telling involve them. So I am going to revamp some things a little bit because I want this to tell a different story, and I might use some of the flowers, but I do want to change it up a bit. So when you get these kits, you can follow the directions as is and make the pages exactly as Stampin' Up has and the kit designer. But I love these starting points. I haven't scrapbooked in a really long time. And so sometimes it's like, I don't remember how I used to do everything. Or how I arrived at my finished products. So I do like these kits. So let me show you what I've been working on. I have an album down here I'm going to bring in. So, Stampin' Up had, and I don't know if this will all fit in, but I'm going to do my best and not spill my tea. Okay. So Stampin' Up did a scrapbooking virtual retreat. And I don't know if you can see. Let me, so I'll just take the pages out. How about that? Let me take the pages out. So, sorry. I didn't do actually, I haven't done all the kits. So this was a big retreat. It was 3 days long. There were 4 videos for each day, and they did 12 2-page spreads. And we got everything. We got page protectors. We had exclusive stamps. Much of this paper was pre-cut, but they gave us the measurements. So we had a print off, okay? And it had, so these pieces were cut for us, already separated by kit. So Stampin' Up! Did most of the work. And we had a printable that told us all the cuts, suggested photos, and how to prep everything. And I have my notes on here, like what colors we used, how the sizes on some of the die cuts, because we had the stamps that made these circles and made this, but I don't have the die cut. So those, it came with die cuts and everything. Hello, Vicki. Thank you for joining us. So I loved this layout. This was December's layout. We had month die cuts for each one. And we had all these fun stamps like love this. This says holiday. So, and winter. So you could stamp, you know, or I'm sorry, you could scrapbook lots of different things from the month, maybe some highlights from the month. And I loved these little pockets. So in these pockets, you tuck your picture in, and then this is a journaling thing. And they had a stamp, you stamp off and then you stamp it. And so then you can write over top of it. And then they tuck into these little pockets. And so it had like this double pocket. This is a pocket too. Okay. And everything came with it. The embellishments, all the paper was pre-cut. Yeah. And, you know, you could change it up a little bit, right? And we had full sheets that we used for the pages to build on. So I loved this. So I love this layout. So let me show you how I recreated using this layout. So I changed mine up a little bit. I embellished it way more. I am an over embellisher. So raise your hand in the comments if you are like me and you just love all those little extra touches. So I'll put those back in my album in a minute. So here is my recreation, and I have literally been working on this for days and days. And I wanted to use some colors that I liked, that I've used for some of my other winter activities. So, sorry, I have some adhesive here, and I'm just gonna try to remove it if I can, because I keep touching it. Okay, so I put my title in the same place. I have a lot more embellishments, and I love the idea of these little buttons holding my pictures. So when I started building my page, I knew that I wanted to use pops of green, and I wanted to use Cloud Cover and Secret Sea. So I've used two-toned paper, the front and back, so you have the light and the dark. And then I could not find paper that I just felt happy with. So this paper, this white, and it's supposed to be, I think, like a basic beige, but I thought it went better with gray granite. So I added that color in. But this is from the Peaceful Garden set. And then I just didn't like anything. So I stamped my own paper. I pulled out all of my snowflakes, and I decided between some of the ones that I had, they were all retired, but I just stamped my own paper. So this started out white, and I used my colors, and then I built everything. So this page, you know, looks like the main bones of this page. So when this scrapbooking virtual retreat comes back around again, I will definitely be buying it. Even though I have not even finished all the pages, we have access to all the videos. It was a super fun event with several people that work at Stampin' Up, and it was just really fun. Lots of tips. So I love that layout, and I can see myself using this same thing and the same idea, even for things that, you know, aren't winter related. So that was page 1. And here's my page 2. It's not finished. You can see I have a little thing. I want a word to go down here, and I haven't decided what I want the word to be. So this stuff is tacked down, and this is actually, it has dimensionals on it, but the backings aren't off so that I can slide my pictures in. And I carried the button theme over. So in the original, there was a word up here. I moved it to the bottom. And I liked the idea of the buttons, you know, like the snowman buttons. And then I have my other sheet that I created. And then here are my pieces for my journaling. And I have a lot of stories to tell. I already know what photos I'm going to be using for this layout. And it's a snow day that we had earlier, not like one of the first snow days. And we went outside and we did some sledding. And we built a snowman. And there's a funny story to tell about my dog. So I can't wait because this has 2 spots for journaling. And I'm going to tell you about this little thing. I added something here, and guess what? It's loose. I'm going to have to tack it down because this will not slide in and out how I want it to because of that decorative snowflake. But I'll take care of that later. So I will be able to tuck in extra pictures. I did some technique. I did some stamping on my page to add some texture. And I feel like I need something down here. So I have some ideas, but I ran out of time today. I have worked on this for many, many days. So I used some of my favorite sets, some of retired things, but that's the idea. You buy the stuff, you invested in it, and now you can continue using it over and over. So this isn't a card, and I've used a lot of these so many times on cards. They were well worth it. But I love that I can transfer it over into my scrapbooking. So thank you, Joan. I didn't come up with that layout, but I sure do love it. And I can see myself using it over and over. You could change out the buttons for other shapes or other things. I think it's so fun. So I love that I did the workshop retreat. Sorry, it wasn't a work. It was a retreat. But it was so packed full. It was all day long, and some videos I couldn't watch right when they were doing them, but it was so fun. So when that comes around, grab it because it is so worth it. If you like to scrapbook, it is definitely worth every penny. Okay, let's dive into this one. And I'm going to just tell you some highlights about this, and then I'm going to do things out of order. So let me get my little take your pick tool here. So this is called Peaceful Days. You can buy it in my online store. It comes in this little kit just like this, and it's going to tell you a technique. So all of our scrapbooking workshop kits have a technique. This one is adding texture and depth with embossing folder. So I will show you or go over where that is, but I don't have the embossing folder that was with this suite that coordinated with it. So I will not be doing that. And it looks like it's on the page that I want to do with you guys. So I'll tell you about it. You can certainly do that. That's like a step up. So when you're making cards, you have your simple stamped, you have your basic, you know, card with just some layers, and then you have the stepped up version that might have a die cut or a technique or something that has texture. So that's kind of what this is too, only scrapbook version. No, Vicki, the buttons, those are stamps that came with the Scrapbooking Virtual Retreat, and they went with a die cut. So I basically stamped the circle. It had a lined circle, and then it had a filler stamp that was like that crosshatch or buffalo check, or to me it looks like a buffalo check. And I stamped it, and then I went through all of my retired dies, all my circle dies, until I found one that I felt was a good size. So I don't have a lot of the circle punches. That would have really come in handy for that. So I think I wrote on my instructions, the circle button measured about a 1 and I think it's an 1/8. Yeah, 1 1/8. So I just basically found something that was pretty close. And then that's how I made it. Okay, so we have the technique. It shows you the 3 2-page spreads. So you get 6 pages total. It tells you additional materials that you will need. So you need the kit, which you have if you have these instructions. Stamp and seal. So that's this one. Seal Plus is very permanent. It's like tear and tape. So make sure you have the regular seal. You can use liquid glue if you want. I do on some things, but I really recommend using this because if you have to reposition something, this will come back up. It's easier if you're using just a little bit versus the liquid glue is permanent when it dries. So, dimensionals. So some things are popped up. Paper trimmer, which I forgot to grab mine, so I'm gonna have to go get it. It does say multi-purpose liquid glue. So again, I use that sparingly because I might want to tuck something or rearrange something slightly. So I like to have this adhesive. And it says the optional is the Peaceful Greenery 3D embossing folder. So that is the folder that they used for the technique. Now, obviously you could substitute in something else that you have. And if you do the technique, then you'll also need a cut and emboss machine. Okay. Sorry about that. I was working on my big table to do my 2 pages and I took the whole table. So that's where all my tools are. Okay. I also have scissors. We might not need them. I also like to have my silicone craft sheet, okay, for adhesive. So if you're adhering something that has some tight spots or delicate things, or this is just nice because it keeps your space adhesive free most of the time for me. I do have a bone folder here. I have my take your pick tool, and I have a couple rulers. So mine are clear. It's easier for me to see, but use whatever you have. So I have a regular 12-inch ruler, and then I have this crafting T-square. I use this a lot, but my eyes, sometimes when they're tired, I can't see the smaller numbers. So I use both. Okay, so use whatever you have. I do have some inks out that's from earlier, but we don't need those. Some of the kits do ink blending, they do stamping, they use twine. So there's all different kinds of techniques with these. The other thing I want to point out is this. So it tells you project 1, 2, and 3 and the size photos that you need. And that is where these come in. So I'm going to get everything out so you can see it. But I'm only going to cut for project number 3. Now that's out of order, but I'm going to show you in a minute how I would do it, and then I'm going to go rogue and do it my own way. So, I have a pencil as well. Okay. Hello, Christy. Okay. So, you're going to use your pencil to label things. So project 1, it has a 3x3. I just put a 1 on it. I'm going to stack those somewhere. I save these, by the way. So these go on 3. You don't have to label them. I just like to sort everything. So when we start cutting, it gets labeled and then it gets sorted. So there's This is for 2, and this is for 3. We have a 4x4 picture. Those, let's see, are for project 1 and 2. So I'm just going to set those to the side. Let's see, project 3 uses a 4x6. Now, if you see a P, that means portrait. So it means your picture goes this way. If it has an L, it means landscape. And you'll see on the 3x4 and the 4x6, it tells you which direction, if it's landscape or not. And they're all printed the same, okay? So you see you have one 4x6 that's portrait and one that's landscape. So I just need 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the rest will go with the other projects. So I'll put those to the side here. And these will actually get adhered to something. So that's why I like to sort my things from the get-go. Now, if you have your pictures, then you can look at this and say, okay, I need a picture that's landscape and I need a picture that's portrait, and how do I want to use it to tell this story, okay? Or what pictures you want to use. Oh, okay. Christy, thanks for hanging out with us and watching. So next we go in here and we see the cutting guide. So let me show you the bits of our scrapbooking workshop, and we're going to start cutting. So we have designer series paper, and this is just like the paper pack, okay? We have 2 sheets of that. We have 2 sheets of this one. Looks like 2 sheets of this, okay? So that's front and back. And then we have this specialty sheet, okay? So they also have specialty designer series paper, and it's one-sided. So this is exclusive to the scrapbooking workshop. So we have that page, this page, and then it looks like we have 2-toned paper. So we have cloud cover, 2-toned, 1 sheet of that. This is pecan pie, must be. This is probably crumb cake then. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 pieces of crumb cake, a pecan pie, and a cloud cover. And it will tell you how to use all of those. So let's see what we're using for our page. So I'm going to do project 3. And I'll show you how we're going to see that on here. Now, you might not be able to see all these little things like I can. So I will explain those. So these are die cuts. When you flip it over, they're labeled. So I will only need the project 3 die cuts. Typically, when I am sorting, I punch these out when I'm working on that project. Then we have 2 sheets of those, and they're different. Isn't this pretty? I love this. I love these trees. And I don't know if I'm going to put the doves on any of mine. I may save those for cards. And then we have a sheet of stickers. Now, you can buy the Designer Series paper pack with these stickers. Okay, they're in the scrapbooking section. But we will use these on our pages, and these are not labeled, so you'll just have to look at the page and see which ones we need. Okay, so any questions on what we get in it? Oh, okay, I see it now. I didn't see it before. That's okay. We all hit the wrong button sometimes. Okay, so it tells you getting started, and it has very exact instructions. Gather your supplies, and let's see. It says check the orientation below in each diagram. So when you see this, it shows you front, back, and the back has an asterisk, and it tells you this is which way you cut. So if there's a direction like a stripe, if it's going vertical, you need to make sure it's laying vertical before you cut it. If it's horizontal, you need to make sure it's turned. Okay, so they really, everything is spelled out for you if you want to do it exactly like the instructions. It says light gray pieces on the cutting guide are project pieces. So you can see this piece down here, we use this whole piece for project 2. So it's labeled 2A and 2E. Okay, and it actually tells you to use scissors. Our trimmer does not cut well corner to corner, so you can use a ruler and an X-Acto knife. You can fold it in half and cut along the score line. That's what I do. So this is for project 2, but we will also be using this sheet over here in this cutting, and it shows you to cut this side up. This is the front. And so here we have 3A and 3J, and then we have a 3I, and we have a 3G. So I know with these other cuts, I need those. So I'm actually just going to start cutting, and I'm only going to cut the ones that are for project 3, and I'll just come back and cut the rest later. Now, if I was doing all 6 pages, I would do all of these cuts. It tells you the scissors are the first cut, okay? So I would do all of these cuts as it shows. So you cut this direction, and then you cut, so you cut vertical, and then you cut horizontal, and you do have pieces left over. I would cut all of these, and then you label the back side. So let's go ahead and start cutting, and hopefully it'll make sense. So I'm going to tuck my paper down here and pull in my trimmer. And it says I need a 1.5 inch by 12. So now it shows this side that everything's facing up. I don't know if it really matters. I'm cutting this side, and they're all this. It's all the same. It's just a star pattern. So my first cut is for 3A. It's 1.5 inches by 12. So I'm just going to go to 1.5, and I'm going to stand. Hopefully I do not create a shadow. I'm going to go to 1.5 and chop it. Then I'm going to use my trusty pencil here. I'm going to turn it on this side, and I'm going to write 3A. Okay, so when I get to it, let me pull this up a little bit. When I get to these, it tells you what to label it. It tells you the dimensions. This means this is where you cut first. If this has an asterisk beside it, it means you're using the back. Okay, so this is labeled. My next one is the same exact cut, 1.5 by 12. So I want to hear in the comments, have you bought any of these kits? Have you used them? I bought this kit a long time ago, and I hadn't used it yet. So I'm curious to see who has tried these or has bought one hoping to try it. Maybe you just didn't haven't cut into it yet. Okay, so the first number here is the width. The second number is the height. So this one is 4 1/4. Okay, I'm going to set that aside because that is for my project 2. And it's going to be by 10 3/4. I could just, do the math, but I'm actually going to pull the arm out. and measure it 10 3/4. Okay, I'm going to save this piece. I'm going to show you. So this is 3I. Let me label this 3I. So I have this little piece left. And right here, I see that there's a 3G and it's 1.5 inches by 1. Okay, and it's in these cuts right here, but I have this piece left. And since I'm only doing project 3, I'm not going to cut this apart. I'm going to use this little piece right here to cut this 1.5 by 1 inch piece. Because this piece of paper is just stars, I can get away with doing that because it's not really directional. So this is, I don't know, 1 1/4 by whatever. So I'm going to cut 1 1/2. Maybe. Move it over to 1 1/2. This piece is extra. And I'm going to turn this and cut it at 1. So I just rearranged a little bit how I cut that. I still have an extra piece, and I'll just have a bigger scrap when I go back and cut the other one. So this piece is 3G. Okay. So I cut all of these pieces. I'm just putting a little check mark. And guess what? If you like these layouts, you can use these instructions again with any patterned paper you have. Okay, so I'm going to move on. So I've got that stack. This is, let me see. I have one little piece here that is 3F, and it needs to be 1 1/4 by 2.5. So this is 1 1/4 by 2.5. So I'm just going to cut a little chunk of that. Find that paper. So this is the front. Again, this doesn't really have a direction, but the back side does. So here it shows that the doves need to face up like this. So then I flip it over. Just in case there's something that has an asterisk, I don't want to mess up my paper. Okay, so I'm cutting it at 1 1/4. Some of those tiny numbers are hard for me to see. So I'm going to cut 1 1/4 off. And I'm about out of room. This is why I go to my big table when I chop these up. And then I'm going to turn it so that other piece is extra. I'll put it back down with my other stuff. And I need 2 1/2. Now, this is extra. So you could save this for a card. These could be used on cards. You could make little banners. This is 3F. Now, some patterns, it's really hard to see those labels. So I'm just putting a little check mark here so I know when I come back to do this kit that I did make those cuts. Now, these are little tiny strips. And it shows you the front is that leaf and berries, and then the back is the plaid. And I want to bring this up. I don't know. Is it focused? So this shows you 3, and I think that says a B, and 3K. And they have the asterisk. So that means I need this side of the paper. You can still cut it with this front up. You just need to know that you're using the back side. So and so you're cutting this paper all up. Remember, this is our first cut. And then some of them were using the reverse side. So you can cut it all the same way. Just remember that you're flipping it for your page. So these are 1/2 inch by 12. Both of them are the same. So I'm going to grab that. So it tells us to cut it this way. And 1/2 inch is really hard if your paper's off your trimmer. So I use the numbers on this right-hand side. So I'm going to go to 1/2 and make my cuts. And I'm just looking again because I don't know if you guys can see that. They're really tiny. Yeah, there's a lot of 1/2 inch cuts. Okay, so I'm just making sure I'm at the 1/2. That's this line right here. I'm going to go 1. And, oh, make sure your paper is all the way to the top here. And 2. Now we want the plaid side, so I'm going to go ahead and label this side. Man. I think it says 3B and 3K. And I'm going to throw them in my pile. This piece is cloud cover two-toned. Again, it shows us the dark is the front and the light would be the back. So I need to cut a big piece here. That's 7 by 7 3/4. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that piece. And then when I come back, I will cut into my paper with the other cuts. All right. There's cloud cover. I'm going to go ahead and grab my other two-tones because I know I'm going to use those as well. Oh, man. I have a big mess going on here. Okay. Too much detail for your brain? I think you could do it, Joan. I think you could. That's why I'm kind of breaking it down because there is detail, but I think if you give it a try, you'll see it's so well planned out. Okay, so I'm cutting the dark side and it needs to be 7, remember 7 by 7 3/4. So and if you're not sure, you can definitely tell light and dark, okay? So 7, let's do it. By 7 3/4. And I do like to say my measurements lots of times. I want to make sure I'm making the right cuts. Have you guys heard that saying, measure twice, cut once? Well, I say it out loud lots of times to make sure that I am doing the right cut. So this is 3D. So project 3, letter D, and you're going to see why they're lettered here in a second. Okay. I'm just taking a quick glance to make sure I didn't miss anything. So a lot of those cuts are for that project 1, and that's the one I want to revamp. Okay, so we have crumb cake and pecan pie. So one of the crumb cakes we're going to be cutting. I see this is the only one. And it looks like I need to cut this piece by the 4 1/4 and then trim this down. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move my scissors over to here. And I just need to remember that I've cut them apart. So I'm going to cut here, and this is I'm going to put this aside, and then I'm going to cut here, and I'll put this piece aside. Hopefully that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I'm saying it out loud for myself. And it looks like I'm doing the dark side of the crumb cake is the face up. So my first cut is at 4 1/4. And remember, this is going off to the side. It's for a different project. And then I'm doing 4 1/4 again. So I probably could have rearranged it if I'd read all the cuts, because this piece that's left should be 3 1/4. Oh, I guess there's a little teeny tiny strip left. I don't need that for this project. Okay, so here is 4 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece that's for 1J, and it's at 4 1/4. I'm going to label it. So it's 1J, but I'm going to put it in my pile to deal with later. And then this is 5 1/4. This piece is extra. Now this piece, I've got to come back in. So my instructions are off to the side here. This actually needs to be a 4, just at 4. So I'm going to cut a little strip off. You could save that strip if you wanted. I'm not going to save it. Now, it tells us after we get this size that we need to cut it diagonally from corner to corner. So I'm just lining up this corner and this corner in my cutting track. Close my arm here. I think it's pretty close. Close enough. Okay, this top piece is labeled 3H, and the bottom piece is 3C. Okay, check. Okay, so this one is all, the pecan pie is all for project 3. These are the photo mats, I believe, and what we're building on. Okay, so my first cut is at 6 1/4. So if you have the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, 6 1/4 is literally right here, right before you get to where the arm comes out. So 6 1/4. Put this to the side for a second. Then it needs to be 7 1/2. This piece is 3E. This piece needs to be 4 1/4. Sure. Oh, I screwed up. Did I? Let's see. 6 1/4 this way. Huh, got it the right way. So 4 1/4. There we go. Woo. So you should have a little strip left. Again, you could save it. I'm not going to save it. I almost messed that one up. So this should be 6 1/4 by 7 1/2. You know, things happen. Luckily, I have some of this paper on hand. Oh, What? Okay, I did. So now we're going to do this cut, and it is 3 1/4. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys to death. So, one of the things I wanted to chat with you guys about was journaling and stories that you tell in your scrapbooks. So I've been doing a lot of just, I guess, research you could call it, with, you know, what kind of stories do people tell and how do they tell them? So I feel like I have a lot of funny stories lately. My kid does a lot of funny things. And I want to document those because I don't want to forget silly stories, the way they told stories or things that they did. So I really want to document them on beautiful pages, like the one that I made for one of our snow days. And one of the funny stories with that day is that my son built his first ever snowman. So we went outside and I taught him how to build a snowman, and he said he wanted to build a small one. So we did. And then while we were sledding, our dog decided that he should attack the dangerous snowman and knock it over. And we just couldn't believe that he did that. So that's going to be one of the stories that I journal. But it's just little moments. It wasn't a big event. It wasn't a, the greatest vacation. It was just a moment that was pretty funny, even though we were sad because our snowman didn't last very long and no one else got to see it. But I'm curious, when you think about the holidays, because that's what I'm going to be scrapbooking next, what kind of stories do you like to remember? Do you tell? Do you have special ornaments? You could take a picture of the ornament and tell the story. Maybe someone special gave it to you. So I'm always curious what kind of stories people want to tell. And I want to give you ideas on things that you can scrapbook and tell. Sometimes we think it needs to be so over the top great events, and it can just be everyday life so that you remember all those funny moments, those special recipes or special moments, and just the little everyday things. Yes, snowman killer. Yeah, that's the dog. So, yeah, he's funny. Unfortunately, I was already inside and had my snow gear off, and I didn't run back out and take a picture, which I wish I would have. But Joe was devastated for a little bit because, So we're going to go on to assembling the pages. So I just want to explain this really quick. It shows you the left page and the right page. It tells you how to prepare your bits for those pages, for this page. Then down here, it tells you how to assemble it, and it actually gives you measurements. So you can place your items exact if you want, or you can be like me and you can just kind of eyeball it. So it has that for every page, okay? So this is the one, I think I'm going to use the plaid side instead. And I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for. So I haven't made that one yet because, well, I'm not sure how I want to use it. And I think I want to use the other side of the paper. So let's get to project 3. Okay, so to prep for project 3, it has some prep things. But one of the first things I'm going to do, so if I had cut all the projects, I'd have a pile for 1, a pile for 2, and a pile for 3. And then once you have your piles, you are going to put them in order. So somewhere I had a 3A. It was one of these. Yeah. So we're going to go A. Then we're going to find B. then C, D. You get the point, right? So I'm just putting them in order according to the letter. And you can adhere, like it says adhere photos. I'm going to wait and do that as I get to that piece because I want to put them in order. Let's see, this little tiny F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and then M and N. Okay, so they're in order of letter now, kind of, because I'm sure some of them were little. That's the idea, okay? And I can see from this that, so it tells you to put your photos on the 2E, or I'm sorry, not 2, 3E, 3L, 3M, 3N, okay? I'm going to wait to do that till the end, and basically we're just using these, okay? Then it tells us to flag one short end of 3F and 3G and both ends on 3I. So 3I I know is for the other page. Again, when I get to that piece, I will do that. So you can do all the prepares before you put them in order. Or you can put them in order and do it as you get to that piece. So the optional was to emboss 3C and 3H by placing them in the embossing folder as shown. So here's the little step up technique. And you can see one corner goes up here on the left page, and then the other corner is probably, yeah, it's on the bottom of the right page. So I feel like I have to emboss it, or there's no reason for it to be on there, because it looks like it's tone on tone. So our crumb cake cardstock pieces are going to be our base. So I had 2 more of those pieces, and that's what we're going to build our pages on. I'm going to do one page at a time, and it says to use the light side. Hey, Dad. Oh, fun. So, Joan, those are the things you scrapbook. Are there any other little stories that you like to tell? Like, I'm thinking about doing some pages on funny things our kids say. Like, my husband used to keep track of the funny phrases our kids said or how they described things. Because, you know, how they see the world is so very different than how we see the world. And sometimes we just found those things very funny. When they like how they described things. So I don't know how I'm going to do those yet, but I think that's going to be something fun that I feel like I need to include somewhere so that that memory lives on. Yes, Vicki. Oh, he is the family protector. All right, so I've got my base. 2 is adhere 3A, 3B, prepared C and D. So, A is this piece, and it's going to go over here. And then B is that plaid. I'm just kind of laying it out for a second. And then this is C and this is D. So if we want to emboss this, we can. Otherwise, it's just a plain piece on there. I'm going to leave it plain, but I may buy another one of these kits. I don't know. I really like these, and I like all the little bits. So I think I'm just going to leave it as a little piece. And then this goes on here. Okay, so first things first, this. And I recommend using just a little bit of adhesive in case you need to rearrange something. So I'm going to put it along the top if I can get my runner to cooperate with me here. And I'll put a couple little bits in the middle. And this goes right along the edge. And I'm working on the glass mat. It does have a ruler, and you can use that to make sure that you're straight. I might have to stand up for this. I can't even sit down and glue. And I've seen people that, you know, use the temporary tape and put their page down. I don't seem to have very good luck. Let's see. So this goes there, just making sure it's flat. And I'm going to do this piece. So how many of you are a messy scrapbooker? I'm telling you right now, I have stuff everywhere. I wish Paula was on. My friend came over last night and I said, hey, you want to see what I'm working on? And before we know it, it was after midnight. And we were laughing because we have no idea. It's like we get into a little time warp. We could just spend forever just hanging out and talking. Now this has a little lip on the paper, so I'm using my bone folder to just push that down. Okay. Now here's where it comes in. I'm going to lay these over here. Somebody remind me that I put them to the right. If you can use some temporary tape and tack that down, you can use the guide on the top and bottom. I know you can't see the bottom of mine, but you could use the ruler, okay, that's along the top and bottom, because when I go to put this 3C on, it tells me it's 1.5 inches from the top and it's 1 1/4 from this right-hand side. So let me get my little T-square. This is why you need to tape it down. My glass mat is slick and it doesn't want to stay. I'm going to use a little piece of tape in each corner. This is Post-it tape. It's not as sticky, so hopefully it'll come up easily. Okay, so looking at my piece, I know that this goes like this, and it needs to be, what did I say, 1.5 down. So if you're going by these, if you're on the glass mat, the dashed line is 1/2. So 1/2, 1 1/2. So I want this line right here. Close enough. And I want to go in 1 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on this. And this is where this little mat comes in. Nice and handy if you have a little corner. I don't want my corners to lift up, so I'm putting adhesive on that, but I don't want it all over my project. So it goes like this. I'm going to go over here to 1 1/4, and I'm just going to carefully, maybe, Well, sometimes, some days it works better than others. I'm going to carefully slide that in. So that's why I said you could guess. No one's going to measure your scrapbook and see if you did it exactly the same way. This piece, now remember, it was 7 inches. So it goes this direction. We want to make sure this 7 inches goes this way. And it is 2 7/8. You guys know how much I love doing 8ths. And it's also 2 3/8 from the top. So it's 2 7/8 from the left-hand side. I don't think I'm going to get precise on this. What did I say? 2 so 2 would be 10. And 3/8 is about right there. And so this is almost 2 7/8 is almost to 3. And I'm just going to put a little adhesive in each corner. And a little bit in the middle. So it's almost to 3. And I just want to make sure that it's straight. So I can tell from my ruler that I'm pretty close. Okay, so I'm curious. You saw the finished page and how Stampin' Up! Used it, and it says best day ever, and it says documented, and it looks like, I'm trying to read this story really quick. It's talking about a celebration. So I'm curious, with this color scheme, what would you use this page for? Okay, I'm going on. It says adhere prepared 3E. So 3E is this one. And again, make sure you pay attention. Remember, this was 6 and, oh, no, that's 7.5. But it goes like that. Okay. So it's 7.5 by 6 1/4, and that's where our portrait picture goes. So we need our portrait 4 by 6, and then .3E. Does it tell me what size? Might be the 3 by 3, I'm gonna guess. So I'm guessing, I'm just going to take a peek here at the right side and see. Nope. Okay, yeah, so this is a 3 by 4 and this is a 3 by 3. So that one's a 3 by 3. So how would you use this page? What would you document on it? What do the colors say to you? It's not really a Christmas layout, but I think you could, depending on how, what you use. And I just put a little bit on. Things might tuck under here, so I try to leave some adhesive off and just put it more in the middle. So you can pull these back off when you put your pictures down, or you could use them as white mats and just make your pictures a little bit smaller. Okay, so, and you can pop these up. So if you wanted your photos to kind of have some dimension, you could pop them up. I am not popping up anything. I'm just adhering everything flat for right now. Okay, so it says 3E is 2.5 and 3 inches down. So 3 inches down is 9. And I'm going to kind of just eyeball it here. But I want it to be straight. That's the other thing about this adhesive is I can kind of move it and wiggle it a little bit. Okay, good enough. Ooh, camping, beach. I like it. I like the ideas. All right. Oh, look, it says, please note, I should have read this. Don't use adhesive along the top of 3E. Other pieces will be placed behind it. So I should have just read all of them first. So these little banner things that we were going to, this one and this one that we're going to add little flags to. I'm going to show you how to do that. Is going to tuck under. So I added a little bit right there. I think we'll be okay. Or I'm sorry. This one. Oh, I did good. It's not adhered down. Okay, so we do need our scissors. To banner this, I'm just going to cut in the middle. And then I'm going to go from corner to corner. Or I'm sorry, corner to where I cut. Not corner to corner. Corner to the top of that little slit I made, and that's how you flag it. I call it a banner. Some people call it a flag. I guess it's whatever you want it to be. So, I would love to know, has anyone scrapbooked, have you ever scrapbooked about a recipe? So, I'm thinking about people that, you know, things that I remember, dishes I remember having during the holidays. And I'm thinking that would be something awesome to have a picture of the person, have maybe if you have a recipe that's handwritten, you could take a picture and put it with it. What do you guys think? Has anyone done that? You know, I never thought, I scrapbooked for years and I never thought about doing something like that. I don't know why. Okay, why is there? Come on. Adhesive. Okay, this does have some measurements. It tells you how far to put down. Guess what? I'm just going to be guessing here. Oh, you know what I just noticed? That's not right. That's covered. So, this, first of all, it doesn't go under the green. It's going under the brown. Okay. I might have put it off a little bit. But that's okay. And a sticker gets tucked under here. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this a little bit because I need to go get, it says adhere 3F, which I did, the pre-cut tag. So that's in my die cuts. Or no, I'm sorry. It's a sticker. So it's like this little half tag. So before I put this in, see, sometimes I forget to even read the instructions. I just kind of do my own thing. I'm going to stick that down, and then this goes layered on top. Let's see if I can get this up because it looks like it goes up further. I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, close enough. And it might not be straight, but see, I have just a little adhesive on there, so that's okay. Okay, so I already know I'm leaving that off, so I'm going to have to think about how I want to use that space. This circle does cover this up, because the way that the layout was designed. So let's see what it says to do next. And 3G, placing them. Okay, embellish with remaining pre-cut pieces and stickers as shown, using dimensionals on some of the pieces indicated by drop shadow. So what they're saying is, if you see something that has a shadow like this, kind of looks like it has a shadow, and maybe that one, that, and of course they popped that up. Everything else is flat, so you can, again, embellish how you want. So let's see. The hard part is knowing which one is a sticker and which one is a die cut, because I have some die cut trees and I have some stickers. So documented is the journaling. So you could switch this out if you, I think they're about the same size if you wanted it to, yeah, if you wanted the all smiles instead, you could switch it. No one would know. Okay. Oh, you know what? Remember when I said it tells you? I guess the, well, that's for project 3. This tree is labeled project 3. Now, I will tell you, there has been mistakes. Mistakes can happen. It's okay. If you happen to punch something out and it's for a different project, that's all right. That's probably the one that's popped up. So, and nope, this tree, this project. So the stickers aren't labeled. I just do my best guess. I know that there's, oh, it's a sticker. There's my half circle. I think I got them all. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, good idea, Joan. I could use a tree instead of the bird. Great idea. So I need this sticker. If you want to pop a sticker up, here's a little tip. You can unstick it with your embossing buddy, okay? You just rub that powder over this and it's gonna make it not sticky. You could make it less sticky by putting it on your clothes or on you. And then you can put cover it in dimensionals and put it on. So this does not, for the stickers and stuff, it does not give you measurements, okay? So it just kind of shows you where they are. So you're just kind of looking and saying, okay, there's this, there's that. And then you're just kind of eyeballing. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm putting it about the middle. And I want to make sure I cover up that edge. Now this goes down here. You could pop up that title, Best Day Ever. And then we have these. The smaller one goes up here. This one goes down here. So I'm going to look at the second page here, just so I can see, because I have some trees. So I want to see what these look like. My sweater's getting, I have another one of those. Actually, there's one on here too. I can't really tell which one's bigger. Okay, I think this one goes on page 2. This goes here. And see, I pulled that up too high, so I'm going to move it. So now the skinnier trees are the stickers. So I think that's a sticker. Nope. All right, what do you guys think? This is a sticker. And I'm going to be really honest, I'm not really sure. So I need 2 trees, and I'm just going to pick this tree. Kind of looking at it to see. I'm looking at the front because you know what? No other layouts use trees. So I'm just going to use what I want and not worry about it. I'm overthinking it here. Okay, so we have this tree. And it's going to go on here. So I'm going to give you a little tip. I'm going to scoot this up so you can see. So I don't want to stick this down and then not be able to slide my picture in. So how we get away with that is we use part of the sticker sheet. So I have actually kept sheets like this. So you just cut into it. And you're going to cut out some of the sticker sheet. I guess I could have gone right here and done this strip, but we're just going to cut where the tree was. So you use this backing from your sticker sheet, and I'm just cutting in here where I took the sticker off. You could cut around all these stickers and have them loose. But I'm going to take this off and throw it away. Oops. So I just have this slick backing. So I've actually saved pieces like this so that I can put it right here where my photo is going to go. And I didn't cut very straight, so then I'm going to lay this down, and I'm kind of guessing it overlaps the plaid. It hangs a little bit over there, so that way my sticker actually isn't stuck. I can pull it up, take this out, put my photo in, okay? So I've got that corner covered because I have a die cut here, or I think it's a die cut. And I want to pop this up. So I'm going to put dimensionals as soon as I find my pack of dimensionals. And I'm going to cover this whole thing. So you want it to be completely covered so it doesn't flatten in your album. All right, so next scrapbooking question. Have you used dimensionals? And yeah, I'm going to use a lot. This is one of the things I learned in that retreat. And why? We don't want our elements to become deflated. So you cover so all of it stays popped up. I need a mini in there. Now you don't have to take all the backings off. You can just strategically remove some of them, but it still provides the structure for your die cut so that it keeps its shape. Because once you fill up your book, the pages will become heavy. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Okay, I want I'm going to do a little oops. Okay, so that's a lot of dimensionals, I know. And most of it is going to go onto this piece, but I don't want to adhere it to this. So I'm just going to take this bottom row off to make sure that it stays, because, and maybe a couple more, because it's going to go down like this. I actually probably adhered that a little too high. That's okay. We're making it our own. So I'm only going to undo these. And then that way this can lift up. I can pull that sheet out. And then I can just take the backings off of a couple at the top and press it down. But it's all going to stay the height that I want it to, and not get part of it looks like it, dips down when it's stuck in my photo album. So I'm just going to do my bottom row and 2 on the side. And I'm going to put it about there. Hopefully they're straight. So you see this looks loose, but once I get my picture on there, I can pull that out and finish adhering it down. Oh yeah, Joan, great idea. There are sheets, there are foam sheets that you can cut. And I do like using those, but I often use those like for my letters and stuff. So I just go with it. Okay, this little piece, You can see, look, I didn't put a dimensional there, and it's kind of wanting to go down. So this goes there, and I'm going to put dimensionals on this side of it and not this side. So there's a, you know, a way that you can make sure you get it exactly right, and I'm just taking some shortcuts here to save time. What did I do? Oh my goodness. I need a mini. I can't reach them. Okay. I think it'll be good enough. So it overlaps right here. So I'm just going to take some of the backings off. I don't need to worry about if it sticks to anything because it's not overlapping any pictures. Okay. Now this, I might need to, oh, I guess they touch. They do touch. I was like, wait a minute, I don't have a space here. So this butts right up to this, your picture, like that. I could probably still move that little piece down. Now, I don't know what I want to say on here, so I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive on it. And move this down a little bit. There we go. So that's where our journal will go. This is going to get some dimensionals, and I might just put one and say it'll be okay. Okay. Now our title. And I kind of want to pop this up. I'm just going to do it flat. If I change my mind, I'll just put a little bit of tape on there, and I can always come back and pop it off. Okay. That's page 1. What do you guys think? I love this. I love the colors too. Okay, are you guys ready for page 2? Okay. Now, this has a lot more things, but I think we'll get through it. So remember, I didn't prepare my photos on the mat, so I'll do that when I get to it. So we're using the light crumb cake side again. And I know my bottom is out of screen, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of tape it down on the corners. Adhere prepared 3H, 3I, 3J, and 3K. And remember, I didn't emboss anything. So, let me grab that stack. This is the 3H. This is the I. I was supposed to banner both ends. So again, if you want it to be exact, you can measure it. So I cut up the middle, and then I'm cutting from the corner up to where I stopped. Oops. Now I need to do the other end. You could also leave it as is. You don't have to banner it. There's no rule that says you have to. Or flag it. I guess that's what it's called in the instructions. Thank you. So I really, oops, I messed up there. Let me fix that. So that's this, okay. This one goes down in the bottom, like this. Again, it has a measurement. I'm just laying it out for a second to kind of see. Somewhere down here. This goes here. And then we have, this is 3J. This is 3K. And then here's our photo mats. And then you can see this has stickers and those trees and a little, another little journaling thing. So if you feel like you can't journal on here, you could print something. You can use, they sell full sheet sheets, and you can print your journaling and then cut it to fit. There's a way you make a text document so that it's formatted to fit your space, and then you basically cut it and stick it in on your page. All right, so it is telling us to do which one's 3H? I think that was okay, I am going to do it a little out of order. I'm going to do this one first. It goes along this edge. And if you were making something and the flower side looked better for you, like I said, you can change it. You're allowed. Just use the other side. I do like these little stars though. This is one of my favorite pieces. This is the piece that I was trying to use on my snow day pictures. And it just was dark. It didn't fit how I wanted it. So, okay. And this just butts right up against that. And I tend to start at the bottom. Curious, when you put a full piece on, do you start at you line it up at the top, or do you start at the bottom? Okay, now I'm going to look at those measurements. And I need to get down here. See, I always end up untaping my page and it slides all over the place. So, okay, my little triangle piece here is 3/4 inches from the left side and 7/8 up. So 7/8 would be about right here, and 3/4 is about right there. So that's what I'm going with. Let me bring in my little mat here. Oops. I don't see any special notes. Okay. What did I say? 3/4 about there. Good enough. Then this piece, and this piece is 3/4 from the top, and it looks like 4 3/4 from this right hand side. So I don't know where to put everything. That's about 3/4 from the top. And I need to go to, what did I say? 4 3/4, so almost 5. About there. Okay. Adhere prepared 3L, N and M, or M and N. So these are our photo mats. Again, if you like this side better, before you label it, change it. I do like this dark brown. So I'm going to use my photo mats now, or my little photo plate. I guess they're not, these are not photo mats. They're called placeholders, photo placeholders. There's one. So, could you see yourself doing this as a workshop? You would go at your own pace. You follow the instructions. So if you get a kit, everybody has the instructions, and you can cut it however, you know, how you want. You can change things how you want, or you could do it exactly as the instructions say. Just curious, what do you think about the kits? I've really, really been liking them. I've done other kits, and I really think they're a great value. Okay, so let's see. I think the L was this one. Yep. And it is going to be 2 1/8 from the top. And 1 5/8 from the side. So 2 1/8. So about right there. And 1 5/8. So pull this out. One 5/8 is the small line right after the half. Just making sure it's straight. Again, I didn't put a lot of adhesive on there just in case I need to move it. Then my next one, this little 3x3 square photo. I'll move this up. Can you guys see okay? I need to get a stand that sits up higher so you can see my whole mat. This one, it just says 3/8 below this one. So I'm going to put this here. And if you look on your thing, you can see this edge lines up. So I'm going to bring my little T-square over here. And I'm going to line it up with that edge. And then I can just come down 3/8 of an inch. Oops. This is at 4 1/4. So I have 1, 2, 3. You're going to count 3/8. Let's see. About right there. If you want it exact. And this one is 3/8 from this one. So we're going to do this, and it lines up along the bottom. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put this right along there because I want this edge needs to be straight. And this goes in landscape. So I didn't say that. This is landscape. That's a square, so it doesn't matter. So this is at 3 1/4, and I need to go 3/8. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to line it up with the bottom of this. Hopefully they're all straight. Again, I only taped it in the middle. You can always add it more adhesive, but things tuck. So it says embellish with remaining pre-cut pieces and stickers as shown, and then add journaling's your last step. So you could leave this little journal box off if you don't want to write on your page. I will probably print something to fit in that space. It says happy days, so it's telling us to use this journaling right here. If you don't like that, you could print or stamp something and cover that piece. Completely up to you. And then we're going to use our trees. So we have a die cut tree that's left. And then we have 2 sticker trees. And we need, it looks like this. Sticker goes over here, and it covers this corner like this. And I can tell right now I need to put more adhesive on that because I didn't. It's not lining up very well. That's okay. Oops. So it's going to cover up that corner, and then we have a tree. They're about the same size. I'm going to use this one up here, and I'm going to use this sticker down here, and I'm going to have to cut a piece that will cover these 2 corners so that I don't stick it down. As soon as I remember where I stuck my scissors, there we go. I'm just going to cut this right here. So I'm just cutting along the bottom of my sticker. Sheet. And then I'm going to take this white piece off. I hope I don't need it for anything. If I do, I'll just grab something from my stash. It is a nice white bit down there on the bottom, if I can get the sticker part off. So I'm just going to use that piece. I'm going to put this right here. There's my sticker. And so you can see it overlaps, but this part, it can stick down. So lay that there. This goes. Good enough. Okay. Nope. I think it'll be okay. So see, it creates a little thing here. This one sticks on top. And it probably has a dimensional on it, but I'm not going to put a dimensional on there. Okay. What else? Okay, so up here we have a spot for the date, and that is a sticker. That's this little piece right here. Okay. And it looks like they may have popped this up. So when I go to Scrapbook, if I decide that I want this photo to be popped up, I can always pull it off and put dimensionals on it. Cutting my tree out here. I'm using the sticker, but I want to use that backing. So here's my tree. It needs to go over this piece, so I cut this out so I could use this big piece here. Have you guys ever done this? You know what's funny is I scrapbooked for many years, and I never saw this before. So this tucks under here. It goes along this side here. So I had never used this where I had like a placeholder for my photo, and then I added them later. I just didn't scrapbook like that. So this is something new for me. Oh, Joan, that's sweet. Yes, I do agree. I love handwriting in scrapbooks and things, but I think if you have a really long story to tell, or maybe you want it to just look a certain way, I think it's okay to have some typed journaling too. But I definitely love handwritten stories. I think I definitely agree with your son. I think it's important to have those. I'm actually going to pop this up. Changed my mind. I'm going to have to measure it again. That's okay. I think this is popped up, and I can't pop this up without popping this up. So bring in the, I'm going to need another sheet. Let me see if I can find any of those foam sheets. I do have one. that could help, right? So this is what Joan was talking about. These are the foam sheets. They come in, they're like a little rectangle, and they definitely save some things. So I want this to go. So I'm eyeballing that. I kind of know where it was. I want this to pop up with it. So I'm going to put a little adhesive on here so that I can see where this will overlap. I'm going to press down. So all of this needs some dimensionals. So that I have one of those, which definitely helps. I'm just going to do the rest with these. And I'm trying to look at my sheet and see if there was anything else. Obviously, I'm out of die cuts, so I must have used all the correct ones because my pile's gone over here. Okay. I use all the bits. Sorry, it's so quiet. So, you guys want to talk about anything that you do that's special for the holidays? We host everything, so that's fun. I'm excited to spend some time with my family. Those that can be here at least. Okay, perfect, right? Okay, so this is going right here, and I need to put my journaling sticker on. I love this. So this, it does overlap. It overlaps this tree, but this one overlaps. So I'm just kind of guessing. It's just below. It overlaps all of these, and it's just about the same height as this. So I'm going to guess about right there. Kind of lines up with that. And you know what? Okay, that's all right. This shows it below this line, but I think it'll be okay. I still have plenty of room. So I'm going to pull that big one off. And look, this is what I'm talking about. You can save this. This is the same as a sticker release paper. So I have a little stack of these. When I have a big piece, I keep them so that I can use them when I do these pages, or even my own pages, how I created my layered pages. I still want to have things for those pages that I create. Okay, so we're going to eyeball this. That looks, we're going to say it's good enough. Okay, there we go. There's our second page. Not too bad, right? So when you're working on your own, just like I did, I could have prepped all the projects, sorted them, and then just assembled the pages when I have some free moments. So again, this is a reminder of what the pages look like and how they Stampin' Up! Used them, how the designer did them. And this is how mine turned out. Pretty close, I think. And again, this is called the Peaceful Days Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. And it coordinates with the Peaceful Garden Designer Series paper and the stamp set that had the doves, and it had some dies that coordinated. That bundle is retiring, the stamps and the dies. So I'm not sure if it's still available in the last chance, but if you are wanting that, then you need to grab it soon, because those kind of things sell out. And then if they're in the last chance, they're gone once they sell out. Oh, thank you. Joan, football's part of your festivities. We don't actually watch football. I mean, I don't hate it. We just never turn it on. So Vicki, you do picks as you go as well. So yeah, this is a new thing for me, is to kind of create the pages and then go back and add photos. And I do love having this done. I am already thinking about what I think I want to use this for. I don't know if my photos look good with these, but I think they'll tie in. It was a very special day in our family. And so I really think that's what I'm going to use these for. To document a big life event for my son. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me. It took me 2 hours. I know I'm really slow with these, so thank you for being patient with me. I know sometimes there's downtime, and I will put this on YouTube, but it won't be edited out. So I'm sorry if that's boring. I apologize in advance that I'm not there yet, but I do enjoy trying to share tips with you. I hope I've given you some journaling ideas for your holiday albums, you know, those little moments, maybe your favorite ornament. I got a new coffee cup from my wonderful friend Vicki, and I already took a picture of it. It has a winter scene. And oh, I want to show you guys, this is something, this has nothing to do with scrapbooking, but let me get some things out of the way here. My other friend Jenny made this for me, and I just love this sign. So I'm definitely going to be taking a picture of this, and I may even scrapbook about it. Someday my kids may forget, or my grandkids may want to know what I did. And this is what I do. This is my passion and my love. So you can scrapbook about things about you and things you like. And here's something else that Vicki made for me. I love the Grinch. And so she made me this really cute character bottle. So, you know, this is part of those things too. And so I'm going to encourage you to scrapbook about those little things that make you you, so that future generations know. Right now, I'm kind of, my sister and I are working on some of the genealogy of our family, and there's no stories. We know no stories. And I'm sad because I might not have appreciated those things when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I want to know those stories. So when you document those things, you're telling your story. Your story gets to live on. And your future generations get to know about you. They get to know about your family, what you did, what was important to you, and some funny, humorous stories along the way, too. So I can't wait to hang up my new sign. It's going to go right by where I film. And I love my little Grinch bottle. He's going to find a place upstairs for everyone to see. And I also have a new cool little thing that that Vicki's husband made for me and Vicki. And I will use that in a future video so you can see this cool contraption that she came up with. I love it. So thank you all for hanging out with me and taking some time to scrapbook with me and hear some of my stories. And I would love to hear some of yours. So if you're watching the replay over on YouTube, I would love to know any stories you want to share, any special moments that you scrapbook about, and any ideas you want to share. Oh, Joan, what a precious gift. A recipe book and your mom's handwriting. Oh, that's awesome. Really, really precious thing. Yeah, scrapbooking does take time. So don't rush it. Enjoy the process. Thank you all. Have a beautiful week this week. I will be taking time off to be with my family. I will not have lives during the week of Christmas. I will continue to share some inspirational things, but I will be out of the office. So if you need me, you can message me, but I may not get back to you right away. So please keep that in mind. If you have ordering, if you need anything to do with ordering, please text me. Gosh, I guess Merry Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. Today is the first day of winter officially. So, you know, happy solstice. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.